We have Jonathan Carvalho from New Bedford Public Schools. You are the spokesperson for Dr. Pia Durkin, is that correct?
I am the spokesperson for all of our school system.
All right. And you have a response to the four teachers that were just sitting in the studio?
Right. Well, my response is that I hope any teacher or any faculty member with a concern is going to come to their principal, whether it's to their union, whether it's to what's called a faculty advisory committee, which all of our 26 schools have.
So they did say that they had gone to their principal.
Yeah, they said that they did and nothing happened.
Well, here's one of my concerns, because I actually went through hundreds of pages of advisory committee reports this weekend to check on these things. I could not find almost any of the items they were discussing in those reports. And what the faculty advisory committee is, it's a group of teachers at each school that meets with the principal and brings all the concerns of any of the teachers to the principal, because they're important to us and we want to deal with them right away.
Yeah.
And those concerns can be things as small. One of them at the high school was students are bringing bags of chips from the cafeteria into class and eating chips in class. So it's not that.
Do you think they're making up these stories?
That's not what I'm saying, but I'm just saying I hope that any of these concerns will be reported, because the concerns that I heard on the air, most of them I could not find in any of our reports.
They said that they were afraid of repercussions, though. Like the woman who had that chair thrown at her last year by a student, she had to go through a disciplinary hearing. And I think that they were saying that they were concerned about reporting something, and now all of a sudden they're being disciplined.
Right. Well, there certainly wouldn't be any repercussions against teachers. Again, like I just said,
but you would think that, but then that wasn't what happened last year.
Right.
Well, there's 26, like I said, faculty advisory committees, and there are reports at every single school, so there certainly aren't repercussions. That's just not accurate.
But can you understand why they'd be fearful of that?
What I can't understand is why they wouldn't report it to A, their colleagues, which is the faculty advisory, B, their union, C, their principal, or D, the administration. That's what I can't quite come to terms with, because if you have a problem, you need to come forward and bring it to the principal.
But when that woman last year did, she had the disciplinary hearing.
I'm talking about this year.
But I can see why someone would think that, though.
I wasn't here last year, and I don't think that's accurate, but I can't really...
No, that's 100% accurate. That's fact. I mean, when that happened, there was a disciplinary hearing, Jonathan. Hello?
Yes.
There was a disciplinary hearing for that teacher last year.
Well, all I
can you see why that would be a deterrent for people to come forward and talk about attacks this year?
What I can't see is why that would be a deterrent to report to your administration what's happening. So I can't really. And the other problem is if I can be frank, I'm not sure that these people were teachers only because I'm wondering. You don't think these
people were teachers?
Oh, wow.
Well, what I'm saying is, when someone isn't identified in the media, it's very difficult to determine who they are or where they work. But one of the problems.
So are you questioning my integrity? Are you saying that?
I am absolutely not. But what I'm saying that I don't know if they were teachers at New Bedford High School.
I didn't say they were teachers from New Bedford High School. I said they were from the New Bedford School District. They were not all from the same school.
Could I just have 1 second?
Sure. It's your floor.
Okay. Well, what I'm saying is I'm not sure that these people were teachers at New Bedford High School, because they were talking about things going on in the Gold House at New Bedford High School. So that, led me to think that they were saying they were teachers from New Bedford High. The Gold House is not closed. I'm not sure what this... So this doesn't seem to be... that's also not accurate.
So there are no fights going on in the Gold House?
There are fights at every high school in America, but my point is that the Gold House is not closed, which is one of the things that was said on the air. So I'm just not sure, where these teachers would be from. I just don't... Some of the pieces aren't fitting together.
Mm. But so,
talking a lot about incidents going on at the high school, but yet they're also saying the Gold House is closed, which isn't true. So that, to me...
No, I think I said that. So the Gold House is not closed?
That's correct. The Gold House is not closed.
Okay. Are there parts of the high school that are closed?
No.
Oh, okay.
So that's what's concerning me, is that some of the things that were said on the air are just not true. And then the other thing that concerns me is that even when you have an anonymous claim of something negative going on at the high school, that automatically makes the news. And then we have verified claims of all the positive things that happen at the high school, and none of that makes the news.
Well, I
you
think
weren't there when we had the National Honor Society. And
well, that's not. I mean, when
you weren't
there are high
the other
schools, and
day.
every high school in America has a National Honor Society. That's not news.
Absolutely true. But every high school in America, I will also guarantee you, has school fights.
I'm not so sure about that. Not to this level.
Yeah, not.
I don't,
to this
and I think
extent.
also not with teachers getting attacked. That does
Right,
not
and
happen.
What I'm saying about that is we want our schools to be the safest environment for our teachers, for our kids, for our families who come in. And what I'm also saying is I hope that they'll be reported, properly, whether it's to their fellow faculty, whether it's to their union, or whether it's to their principal. Because the number one thing any principal wants is to have a safe school environment. No principal.
Oh, I'm
doesn't
sure. I mean,
want.
listen, I think everybody's got the same goal here, but I do think it's amazing that you can't see that when a chair gets thrown at a teacher and they report that to their advisors or whoever it is, the principal, the authorities, and then there's a disciplinary action on that teacher. I cannot imagine how you can't see that that's a deterrent for other teachers to report attacks like
what
that.
I'm just saying is that there are meetings every month between the union, between the administration, and then again, like I said, at the school level, where the teachers meet with their faculty, fellow teachers, and the principal and report every kind of issue under the sun, like I said, from kids congregating in a stairwell at dismissal time to bringing chips to class. So,
This is a lot more than bringing chips to class.
Yeah,
now.
it
I mean,
definitely
but
is.
I agree, and that's what my problem is that when I read these reports, the type of things that you were talking about were not in them.
all right. So
that's
is
concerning
your
me.
stance?
So I hope if they're bringing concerns as small as chips, I believe they would bring bigger concerns.
I see.
And
I don't believe
there
that.
are some bigger concerns that are brought.
So your
only a
stance is
handful,
you
so-
think that these stories are bunk.
I can't confirm that. I don't.
But
I
that's
don't
your
know.
gut. You
But
just
what I'm
don't
saying-
believe it.
I'm not saying my gut, but I'm saying that they haven't been reported, and that is concerning. So I hope that any safety concerns will be reported to the principal, and that's all I can say. Going
With
forward.
all
That's
due
the only
respect,
way
I think you're
if there's any problem.
operating in complete and total denial. Complete and total denial.
I don't think I've denied anything.
No, I'm saying I think you're operating under complete and total denial. Like it just feels like you're sticking your head in the sand. Hear
What
no
I'm
evil,
saying
see
is-
no evil. It's not happening.
No, what I'm saying is, any of these concerns need to be brought to the principal.
But
I think
what
that's how any school
I think any
should be
reasonable
run.
person could see why these
Why
teachers
they're
aren't doing it.
Yeah.
You take care. So, all right.
Okay. Thanks
All right,
we do thank you for calling the show. I don't get it. It is